Muns here. On today's episode of All About Muns, we're going to be talking about the Game 4 NBA Finals between the Pacers and OKC Thunders. Just before I get started quickly, same as usual, thanks for everyone who subscribed so far. If you find yourself on my channel and it's your first time or you watch my channel and you haven't pressed the subscribe button, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Thank you very much. I appreciate all the support. So just to get started on the game, this was a pivotal Game 4 in the NBA Finals. Game 1 went to the Pacers. They stole the Game 1. Game 2, OKC Thunder won that one convincingly. And Game 3 was a brilliant game by Pacers in crunch time. They came back and won the game, which is fantastic. So I felt in Game 4, whoever won this Game 4, I felt would go ahead and win the championship. Because if the Pacers won, they would have been up 3-1, and like I've said throughout this playoff, 3-1 down the playoff is like a death sentence. You really don't come back from it. But if OKC Thunder could steal home court from the Pacers, then it would be 2-2. So in this game, the Thunders won the game. It was a very strange game because it was eerily similar to the Game 1 where Thunders controlled the game for the first 3 quarters, and in crunch time, Pacers ended up winning. And this literally was a very, very similar situation that happened in this Game 4. So basically what happened was that the Pacers basically controlled the game for the first quarter, second quarter, and early on in the third quarter. So towards the end of the third quarter, the Pacers were still up. However, you could see the Thunders were getting the rhythm. Everybody was getting the rhythm. And in the fourth quarter, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was phenomenal. This is why he's the MVP. He ended up with 35 points altogether in the game. This is, if you ask your MVP to stand up for you to win you a game on the road in the NBA Finals in the playoff, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander delivered that for the Thunders in Game 4 of the NBA Finals, which drew the level 2-2. When the Game 4 started, I felt the Pacers were a much better team. They started at a quicker pace. Their shooting was fantastic. They were shooting brilliantly from 3, where the Thunders were lethargic. They were very slow and get everything the Thunders got in terms of points offensively. It looked like they had to work hard for it. They had to labor for it. Which the Pacers, everything just looked like it came natural. And the whole quarter, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a very very poor first quarter, and they even took him out of the game. Which in the past 3 games, he played the whole first quarter, which I think worked to the OKC Thunder advantage in this game because they took him out of the first quarter. Late on, he got a few minutes rest, which made it better for them. Late on in the fourth quarter, he could actually play the whole fourth quarter, which gave OKC Thunder an advantage because he wasn't fatigued like he was in Game 3. So in this game, I felt Haliburton was a little bit more aggressive offensively. He was getting others involved. He was also scoring his point. A stat which I found very strange was Haliburton hadn't shot a free throw all the NBA Final, the first 3 games of the NBA Final, which is crazy because normally your star players do get free throws, do get a lot of free throws, or get a good amount of free throws. When you compare that to where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander plays, it's a hell of a comparison because they're basically the polar opposite type of player. Where Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's a scorer, he's a bona fide scorer, and Haliburton is more of a passer. He's a pass rush player. He's a true point guard in my opinion. In the second quarter, I felt Shai was a little bit better offensively. However, TJ McConnell again gave the Pacers spark off the bench, and I after the little spark, I remember Haliburton went out of the game, and then I felt the Pacers offense slowed down a good bit, in my opinion. I felt OKC were feeling a little bit more comfortable in that quarter, and then Pacers were only leading by 3 points when it was halftime. Then in the third quarter, as you can see, throughout the game, Pacers were very good coming out for the third quarter. I felt all the shots were basically going through. Haliburton was having his way early on. He was either getting to the basket, shooting his 3, and also getting others involved. Shai didn't really get any free throws in the game up until late, I think midway through the third quarter, which is very unlike Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he leaves at the free throw line. he attacks the basket, he shoots the mid-range jumper, and others do foul him a good bit, to be fair to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He knows how to bait fouls out of defenders in the NBA, which if you're a basketball purist, you don't like that. However, that is a game nowadays. You do get your fouls. It's a non-contact sport. If you bait the defenders to contact you, you will get your fouls, in my opinion. And that's how Shea has been doing. Obi Toppin again, huge. The bench players of the OKC Thunder, the bench player of the Pacers have been fantastic this whole playoff, in my opinion. Obi Toppin coming off the bench, hitting 2 back-to-back threes, getting fantastic rebounds, offensive rebounds as well, and put back rebounds for points as well. Like, you cannot put a price on good role bench players in the NBA nowadays, because those are the guys that win you. Those are the guys that win in the ring. Those are the guys that win in the championship. Those are the guys that win you big games, in my opinion. Of course, you'll have your superstars that give you 25 to 35 points a night. However, the role players and the bench guys, those are the guys that, when your superstars aren't playing to their best, those are the guys that carry you and get you over the line, in my opinion. And when you look at Obi Toppin in this game, he was fantastic. However, after the third quarter, I felt the Pacers defense slowed down a lot. In the fourth quarter, it was a level game, and it was a back and forth game. Halliburton again, it was starting to go off, and then to slow him down, Lou Dort put the clamps on Halliburton, in my opinion, late on in the game. And you see Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, this game, he was unbelievable in the fourth quarter. This is why he's the MVP. You need your MVP to get your game on the road, to split the home court advantage, to get you over the line in this game. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander did that for the OKC Thunder in this game, in my opinion. This was a pivotal game, in my opinion, for the Thunder. This is basically every young team get to that crossroad. Can you get us over the line? Can you get over the line? Can you win a road game in the NBA Finals, in the NBA playoff, when things aren't going your way? And I believe this is a turning point for the OKC Thunder. I believe going forward, they will end up winning the championship. This is a big turning point for them in the history of this young team, in my opinion. Because games like this is what defines you as a young team. Some young teams get it done. They get this crucial game. They get someone to take them over the line. And I think this game for Shea, the game 4, was a legacy game for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, in my opinion. And it showed why he was a deserving MVP. However, before that, like I was saying, the first 2 quarters, Pacers controlled the whole game. Andrew Nembhard, man, he wore Shea down so much throughout the first 3 quarters. And when you look at Shea Gilgeous-Alexander in the first 3 quarters, you have to salute him for the stamina he showed and the brave. You just have to commend him for the stamina, the competitiveness, him being so brave in the fourth quarter, taking on the big shots, making the big shot, getting his team over the line, and getting the series back level, going back to OKC for Game 5 on Sunday night. I think that game is going to be fantastic to watch. I can see the Thunders winning in 7 now, because I can see Pacers winning Game 6, Thunders winning Game 5, Pacers winning Game 6, and then Game 7 back in Oklahoma, OKC. I can see the Thunders winning in 7, in my opinion. You look at I believe championship experience is always important, especially for a young team. You always bring in 1 or 2 guys who have been in the finals before, who have won the final before, because NBA final is a lot to take in if you're a young player, if you're first time there. You've seen some of the greatest players of all time freeze in big moments in the NBA final if it's their first time. That's why I believe Alex Caruso was very important for this OKC Thunder team. This is his second 20-point game off the bench for them. He was very pivotal in this game for them to be able to get over the line. Him along with Shea and Jalen Williams. All 3 of them were very pivotal for them to get over the line, in my opinion. I'm really looking forward to Game 5. I think it's going to be a hell of a game back in OKC. I know the crowd is going to be into it. And honestly, man, I can't wait to watch this game. I believe OKC will win it. And then Game 6, I believe Pacers are going to win that. But then I think OKC is going to take it in 7, in my opinion. Like I said, if you have any comments, if you want to leave a comment, if you want to like my videos, make sure I click on the subscribe button as well. If you agree with my opinion, if you don't agree with it, please leave a comment. I'll always get back to you guys. Thank you very much. Have a lovely weekend.